playing. Why am I so tan? Why? I'm not this
I
tan.
know. I don't think it's that you're tan. I think I'm washed out.
Like, dude,
See,
I just,
I'm in San Diego.
I feel like I did a spray tan or some shit.
It's your lighting. See, watch. I can take the lighting up or down. There. Do I look less washed out?
You look the same, actually.
All right.
I look at me, dude, and I look like I have jaundice or something. Like
I look like I'm a pale white baby, like just has no blood flowing. I'm a vampire.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun so I cool down.
I just thought it was interesting. I had this session the other day. They had just gotten back from the Joe Dispenza Advanced Workshop.
Yep.
And apparently those workshops are, you meditate for like 8 hours a day. Like,
dude, I don't know. I don't think I could do that.
I could not. I couldn't think of anything I would want to do less than meditate for 8 hours a day. But anyway, I thought it was interesting because they never talked about COVID. And she had been at another workshop where there was a lot of fear about COVID. At the Joe Dispenza, the only thing he talked about was this research that they've been doing. And they were researching high vibrating cells. Now, I'm not sure exactly how you monitor a high vibrating cell, but they found that the COVID-19 virus could not penetrate a high vibrating cell.
Interesting.
It just made perfect sense.
Well, it makes sense to me. Like, did they say who they was that was doing the research? Did they, or was it Joe Dispenza's team?
I don't know for sure. I did actually do a little bit of research, and I found there's some similar research at MIT.
Oh, really?
And they found that as they increased the vibration, the surface, the casing imploded.
Wow.
The shell of the coronavirus shattering was like an opera singer. You know how when they can sing and they can match the resonant frequency of the glass and then it shatters. I think Greg Braden had this in a video one time where they were taking water droplets and they were subjecting the water droplets to higher and higher frequencies, and how the water droplet would vibrate and completely change forms as the frequency rose. And actually, they even did that on, have you ever seen like the salt experiments? They take a metal plate and they put salt on it, and then they vibrate that plate at different frequencies and how the salt takes on different shapes. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, everything's vibrating at different frequencies. Like, what did Einstein say?
I'd love to know what the MIT people like did to make the coronavirus whatever vibrate so much. You know,
I think they were using ultrasound.
Ultrasound, really?
Yeah.
So all we have to do with, based on that, would be take people that have been diagnosed with COVID and put them into a machine and blast them with ultrasound.
That's what logic would lead to. Yeah.
Logic, but the world's not logical. I mean, I believe we're all vibration. Mm-hmm. And when things vibrate out of the system, they can't, maybe it's the vibrations to a degree that it can't attach to the person's body, RNA, DNA, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I get friends from all over the world send me stuff that they find on and COVID and coronavirus. So I try not to go down the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I'm open to looking at all sides of it. And so I see some of the craziest things coming from actual researchers that have been studying it for many, many years, people that are virologists and all that. And they just explain how it works with RNA, DNA, and the different types of water molecules that activate it, how they attach and all this. And trust me, it's way over my head. Mm-hmm. But I know a simple thing with what you and I do is that we're changing the crystalline structure of people when we work on them as ours continues to evolve. And so if we look at us being more than 80% water, and we're changing the crystalline structure, that creates a different vibration, which I don't know, it's kind of cool to think that when we work on people, we kind of surround them with like a force field of vibration that won't allow that kind of stuff to permeate them, you know?
Yeah.
I like that visual, at least.
To me, this whole thing from right off the bat was a fear virus. What I mean was your chance of getting it was greatly increased if you were in fear. I don't know why I felt like that. I mean, I know that sounds like some new age crazy
No, that makes sense to me.
but
that makes sense to me. Fear increases cortisol levels, and cortisol levels lower your immune system, right?
yep.
Let's just talk about it on that level.
Yeah.
When your
Yeah.
immune system's lowered, you're more fertile to receiving and experiencing sickness. You could put 10 people in a room, let the COVID virus or particulates or whatever they are circulate throughout that room, and 3 people could get sick really severely, 3 people could get mildly sick, and the other 3 nothing happens to, or 4 nothing happens to. You don't know.
Yep.
And I believe it has to do with how germane and fertile we are, our environments, which would be our microbiome, our vibration, our energy, and like our immune system. So I believe there's so many components that have to do with it. And I do believe fear begets fear. And I do believe fear can lower your immune system.
Yeah. And the vibration also, just in the thoughts that you have going through your head. I think that's really probably what creates your core frequency. Is that what you would imagine?
I think it's belief system. I think we're our own power plants, right? And once we unlock the way we can generate our frequency and vibration, or we can entrain to a higher one. And I believe that as we access what we access when we're doing the healing work, just as our clients do, I believe that it's ever expanding. So as this bandwidth keeps to expand and we just tune in here, or we tune in here, or we tune in over here, maybe it's a day, a week, or a month later, it's continually expanded. So we're getting the next level of that vibration to whatever it's doing. So I believe that creates it. And yeah, I do believe it's in your thoughts, it's in your actions, it's in your perceptions, it's in what you watch. Like, there's so much out there in the world you can watch that's negative. Look, I love a great horror movie myself, but I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole and watch 9 weeks of horror movies nonstop. I'll just be like depressed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's so many things that we need to look at on that, which I'd love to explore even more. But I do think, when we're wired the way we're wired and we're in the space we're in all day long, it's kind of hard not to entrain to a different vibration that carries healing intelligence with it. So that's a great question. So we're all succumb to media, the appearance of what's happening. And if we see the appearance of it enough, it starts beating you down and you start believing it. Another way of saying it, some people will say, is the script, right? It's the agenda, or instead of using that word, it's the, what is the wording for it that everyone's using right now? It's not the agenda, the script, I'm blanking.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Jesus would be afraid of the COVID-19 virus? I just don't think he would. I just can't even imagine. I just don't think he would. And that leads me to think that it's vibration. And
I'm going to find out. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to text him real quick.
Text him.
He's pretty quick at getting back. Oh, he already answered it before I texted him. Guy's a smart dude. You know what he said? He said, hell no.
Yeah, he said, hell no.
I don't know. I think when you're a being that walks in the light like that, how many people would grab on, as the stories go from the Bible, would grab onto his clothing and touch it and be healed? I mean, that's the vibration. And without trying to sound like I'm being messianic with this work we do.
Absolutely not. Totally not. Yeah.
Totally not.
Totally not.
When we're around people and we vibrate like this. We're like little superchargers or energizer bunnies of this. And so people have healings. And I mean, I believe the healings people have, if I can put it on the screen right here, are this big. I believe that's the universe marketing to us. I believe what's happening is everything down below here.
Yeah.
That is what's important.
Yes.
It's our evolution.
It's interesting you said that, because that's the reason I got into this. Was not for the physical healings. It was because I feel like my consciousness advanced like 300 years, and like I was like, dude, I'm different. Like something's different about me, man.
Yeah.
I look the same, but I look the same on the outside, but dude, something is not the same.
I totally get that. And that's why I love doing this work. If I can help do this work and facilitate it for somebody else so they can experience what you and I have experienced, that's like my way of paying it forward or doing my contributory duty, my dharma.
So I tell people when I give them a session that it's raising their frequency. You don't tell them that.
I tell them it's changing the frequency. But I probably used that term. Come on.
Yeah.
I probably said raising your frequency because I think of it as in linear terms too.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to really educate people, it's changing your frequency. Maybe it's raising your frequency. I don't know. I can't verify that.
Well, if I would say lowering your frequency, that doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? So
follow your feelings.
Yeah.
But who's to say that lowering your frequency is bad? That's a definition we've put to it, a meaning we've assigned to it, just like good and evil, right?
Well, I mean, I would intuitively feel that love would be a higher frequency than fear.
I know. I'm just being.
You're just being a dick.
No.
No,
I'm good at that too. I really am. That's why I got this far. I look at it and I'm so cautious. I'm cautious about what I say lately because people misinterpret things so often.
Yeah.
And if they say, does it raise your frequency? Then I want to be able to say, I believe it raises your frequency, but I definitely feel it changes your frequency. Because when we had those from that work that was done on the crystalline structures, and you have microscopic pictures of the crystalline structure changing after the work's been done on water, that's proof. That's research. You can see that the crystalline structure went from non-cohesive to more cohesive.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if that's a measurement of frequency. So I'm just trying to be if I say something, I want to be able to back it up. You know what I mean? So I don't know how we measure the frequency going up or down.
Yeah.
Because it also, remember that some of the research was about recoil rates of DNA. And when we look at recoil rates, the recoil rate went longer. And not only did it recoil and heal the damage that was done to the DNA from electrical shock, but it also went back and healed the inherent defects in the DNA that were there before they went in to damage it with the electricity. So it's like, was that recoil rate slower, or was it faster, or was it just more prominent?
Yeah.
I think in those terms. I mean, but then I think people resonate with higher frequency. You know, we've all labeled it in society. I just want to know if there's a frequency, if we're able to facilitate this on people, and it's either puts a shield of vibration around them or frequency around them that doesn't allow all of that stuff to permeate, that would be really cool research to have.
I mean, I don't really want to I don't know what I'm saying by this because it's going to sound weird, but I do feel a level of protectedness and a shield around me regarding lower frequency stuff. Like I really do.
I love it, dude.
I do.
It's like it's like when you walk in a knowingness. A knowingness is a different vibration than a non-knowingness.
Yep.
Right. Yep. I believe fear is a different vibration than, walking in love.
Yep.
So, but I mean, I love the concept of thinking about it as a higher vibration. I just can't measure it for anybody.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've had several people mention that. What frequency is it? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you. It's interesting you were talking about your choice of words and how you describe things, because I've been reading the Law of One. Have you ever read that?
No, you've got me interested in it. I need to read it. I want to talk to you about it. So I love stuff like that.
Pretty fascinating. Some of it just brings this new understanding. Like, I'm assuming that you have a belief that certain beings of consciousness have volunteered to come here to help with this shift. Would you agree with that? Like my volunteers video.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, that's what I thought.
When I saw your video the first time years ago, it made me cry because it resonated through me. Like I got it because I've been doing this work for so long.
Yeah, totally.
I love it. I do. I believe we're those people.
Yep.
We're the beings of light.
That's.
I believe we all are. I believe it's an ability we all have. I believe we're catalysts that don't burn up, like we've spoken about before. And I believe we're remembering who we really are.
Yep. Okay.
And I think as that consciousness of remembering who we are sparks another one, and boom, 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 it takes wildfire and starts moving forward. And there's going to be resistance. There's going to be spots where that fire won't illuminate, and that's fine. But what is it? The 100th monkey theory, where once we get enough critical mass, it's going to keep going. I think we're all here to do that.
I just found it fascinating when I'm reading the Law of One, and it's talking about these volunteers, and it's talking about how there are volunteers from the 4th density, the 5th density, the 6th density, the 7th density. And it was saying the difference between them. And it was like a 5th density wanderer is more susceptible to this insane world. It's more like if somebody needs love.
Well, I'm fascinated by the word choice of density.
Yeah.
Because density has a connotation in our society that it's
the opposite. Yeah,
thick,
totally.
Heavy, it's weighted, it's not light and open and porous,
Totally. And that's interesting you say that. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like our language has this.
Yeah. It's limited.
It's limited.
Yeah, our language is very limited.
Because 4th density is actually lighter and more freeing.
Is that what it says? As it goes up, it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter?
And like 5th density is there's no body, Okay. You don't even need a body. I've
definitely felt that before.
So if a cycle would be like 25,000 years, I think we're like 30 years into the 4th density. So we are like baby steps into the 4th density. In that book, in the Law of One, the channeled information talks about that we're moving into the 4th density. Whereas like Dolores Cannon, she's talking about shifting into the new earth.
One of the things I will never forget this. I don't remember if you were on the road with us on this one. God, we've done so many of them. I remember at one point somebody said they looked at us and we talk about like what you mentioned, the Hopis, the Incans, the all different religions and groups and if you will, tribes. They all have this story of the fall of humanity, of the fall of mankind, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and original sin and whatever, and some point of disconnection, right? And one of the theories and one of the stories that you hear is the Pleiadian one that we've all been told, that there were Earth was a way station. There were different factions that were governing Earth, while travelers and beings from the universe came in and stopped and did whatever they did, whether they vacationed, they refueled, they took a little bit of time, and before they went on to go do whatever they do. And these two factions started feuding. And in the feud, one of the factions for the control of the Earth figured out how to disconnect 10 of our 11 or original 12 strands of DNA. And those of us that are light workers, as we've all been told or heard stories of, are back to reconnect that DNA. And it's also, other people say that those of us that are here doing the work that we're doing as light workers and healers are reconnecting strands of that DNA, right? And that we're reconnecting the third strand of DNA, and there's more and more and more. And it was just funny. I will never forget this. It cracked me up. This is total side up. You probably don't even know where I'm going with this, but
I can't wait to hear it.
We were on a seminar somewhere, and that story came up, and we were talking about it from stage, and got down. And I think afterwards, Sunday night, we went out. I was down at the restaurant in the hotel, and a couple of people came up and go, "Hey, we're really fascinated by this. I want to talk to you about the Pleiadian thing and all that." And they said, "Well, how does this have to do with karma?" And I looked at them like, "What do you mean? How does it have to do with karma?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, if that happened and we're multidimensional, but we're also living simultaneously occurring planes of existence. So that's happening right now. Then what's happening in this dimension that's going on?" It really made me think. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm one of the main instructors doing this work and also facilitating it, what the hell, man? Was I one of those people that was I on that research team that originally disconnected the DNA in the first place?
Yeah, totally.
And I'm here paying back a karmic debt to
Totally.
reconnect all this shit back?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
You're
Like,
making amends, for a slight.
Is this my punishment, my balancing out? I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's
a fun one. If it is, cool punishment.
Yeah. I think about that stuff too. I think about that because I definitely feel pre-wired. I feel like I was pre-trained and pre-wired for this. And I went like 44 years through my life, completely just doing my shit, like whatever, playing golf and doing stuff.
Yep.
And then boom, it's showtime, dude. It's time to get to work. It's time to wake up. You got some stuff to do. Yeah. One thing I found interesting, I put this in a video that I put out a couple days ago. I never really talk about this. When I think back to the first sessions that I ever gave, this is not even finished the book. This is no training. This is nothing. This is just friends.
Yeah.
Those sessions were as profound for them as the people that I do now after 10 years. So I don't think I'm any better at it than I was the first time I did it. What the fuck is up with that? Like,
well, you're not, because what the clarity of that is this: you're different than the first time you did it by virtue of this. You have rapport because you've worked with these frequencies for a long time. But back then you were learning, you were wide open, right? You were like, okay, bring it on. You didn't gild your mind or your thought process or your intentions with, I don't trust this, I don't think it's going to work. You just allowed, right? And you were observing and allowing. So it came through really profoundly. And then the difference is some people won't allow themselves to go there, but you allowed yourself to go there. And now you are just at a different point in your own mastery. You're a master, man. You are walking as a master. You're not like a master. You're walking as a master on this planet because you know this healing work. And you know for a moment, the second you do a distance healing session, do a calibration, do a reconnection, whatever it is you're doing on somebody, you know instantaneously that person's going to receive the frequency and the vibration they need to have the shift or change in their life that they need, without question, whether they had an experience on the table or lying down on the couch or the bed or not. You know it. It's just, that's the difference.
Yep.
That's that old saying, what is it? There's a difference between understanding, knowledge, and knowingness, right? When you understand something, it's a concept, right? When you have knowledge of something, it's because you've experienced it, you've seen the repercussions, the fallout, the backs and forwards of it. You've taken that understanding and evolved it. But a knowingness is where you're at right now. The knowingness is where that knowledge has integrated and completely resonated and galvanized into your being.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion of it.
Yeah. You have to pick up your daughter.
Yes, I do. It just
So,
popped 3
okay,
o'clock,
dude.
so.
It was awesome talking to you. We will do this every week, and we'll just talk about something different every week. And I absolutely look forward to it, bro.
You got it, brother. Send me a link to that stuff so I can see it. Cool.
Okay.
Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know